Yeah. How you been?
And you froze up on me. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
there you go. That's must be an age thing.
go. So
Uh,
what's going on? How do you say your last name?
LaRue, a very, very
Lu-
French. Uh,
French. Okay.
yeah, it's a couple of interpretations, the happy or the heralder. So I guess from a salesman standpoint, I'm the happy heralder. Um,
Okay.
and
Great.
I watched a number of your videos. And you do a spectacular job in communicating. Um,
Thank you.
I uh, have been exploring opportunities, and I've done many things in all the years that I've been involved in marketing and sales. But I started to think about my days in the mortgage business, and I listened to your and read some of your stuff online, and we have a pretty similar background. I did about 12 years in the mortgage business,
Okay.
and when it went sideways, I took on other opportunities between health insurance and alarm systems, and then I spent the last 4 years more consulting with roofing companies because that was a big thing out here too.
Hmm.
So in that process, I developed a lot of skills and learning new apps and got involved with AI and started to see how uh, things are turning in the marketplace. And I said, well, let me look at something that I have at least a background in that I can do myself, that I, instead of making somebody else money, I'll make it for myself. So
Hmm.
uh, that's when I started thinking about the business. One of my roofing customers or clients out in Ohio, he wanted to get some financing for his business. And I had a friend that was doing business financing, so I got him hooked up and he just got a line of credit. So that even solidified my view that it's a good market to be in. And I have looked at a lot of, I've done work with a lot of data sources and pretty much have a good uh, database. In fact, it's pretty much all small businesses nationwide. And I utilize a lot of different programs for outreach. For the roofing companies, I reach out to building owners and property managers. And
Manual reach out, or how do you do the reach out?
I do video email. I use a program called Hippo, and I build. Sometimes I build entertaining videos with a program that does that, and then I have another program that's on the more serious side that I do. Uh, I build samples of the roofs that the fellows have
Okay.
worked on, and so if there's a sequence, sometimes I'll put a sequence of videos together that will highlight one to get attention, two to get a more of a serious reaction, and set up a time for my guy to go up on the roof. Um, but us, and I've used other methods. Telemarketing. I worked for ADT dealership in Denver, and we had I ran a five member crew of telemarketing. Ended up being all virtual. So using Mojo, and that's something that could work very well in this industry.
Hmm.
Uh, and I still have contacts with the ladies that I used for outreach using that. And then uh, I use Instantly for direct mail. Email marketing, and I know how to set up the domains and do a number of emails every day. So, um, and I have access. I've been using a new program I really like called Clay. It's a data enhancement program that will uh, uh, pull either my own data or scrape data and then enhance it with additional information, emails, backgrounds on individuals, that kind of thing. So when I get an interested party, I can find out more information about that before moving on to the next level. And
Jamie,
yeah.
and don't take this the wrong way. For an old guy, I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Don't feel-
excuse me.
you're playing with a lot of new tools. I mean, I would think that you'd be like, you know what,
No, my background in computers goes way back, excuse me, to a time when Microsoft was just coming out with Windows, or even before then, MS DOS.
yeah. But even still, they comes a point, I think, because my stepdad, he used to be a technician. He used to fix ATMs, and back in the day when ATMs just started, and he used to fix
Sure.
registers and all of that. So he was very techie.
Yeah.
I just got him convinced to get a smartphone
Uh,
because he
yeah.
he had a flip phone in 2025. He had a freaking flip phone.
Yeah.
And then every single time I would give him an address, like, hey, I want you to meet me here. He's asking me, well, can you give me the directions? I'm like, dude, I just want to send you the address. I don't know. Like, so
Right.
so I think it comes to that point where definitely not for you. And I would think it would come for me where it gets to that point where, okay, I've reached my technology max, and whatever happens next, I don't really care.
Well, and what has happened, and I did go through a period of time. I think it was really a lot during my mortgage days. I was so wrapped up with using Point, and that was
Plenty.
it, and going out meeting people, writing more business. I probably did about 1,000 loans, and that I got away from technology to a degree because I was just too busy,
Mhm.
and things just got started. Yeah, and in technology, that's what it is. It's a timeline. It just things get more and more and more. Finally, I jumped back into it. I said, "Oh my!" So I better catch up. And then when AI came out, I was fascinated, and
Yeah.
I grabbed a couple of really good programs. Um, Galaxy, I think, is one that has like 2,500 different AI programs in one with a one time pay, and that was it.
Mhm.
And I was able to fool around with that. But and then there's some other ones that do a lot of cool things that are more focused, like doing a business plan. Manus, I believe it is, and so um, and then this clay came out, and I think it's just mind blowing what it can do. So my thing is like an auto mechanic. I got all these wonderful tools. I
Yeah.
just need some cars.
You do. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking about kind of getting your feet wet on the business side of things?
Well, I'm open to
Hmm.
I do well on the phone with people, and I've always been able to explain the intangibles in mortgages and money. It's not a hardcore physical product, but it's a concept, and those concepts have to be described in ways that the end buyer has to understand. And
Hmm.
I did a lot of kitchen table seminars and
Hmm.
teaching people about mortgages and what's good and bad, and helping them make the proper decision. I'm not one to chase a commission. I'm one to chase satisfaction, and
Absolutely.
that's been my hallmark, and that's why I got a lot of referrals in my day. So, and you know, and I've always used my age as an asset, because I'm not coming out, you know, you don't want to say no to grandpa. Uh, but more importantly, there's a trust level that I've. Uh, there's a book called The Speed of Trust, and you know, you have to provide that and give people a sense that they're doing the right thing by going and working with you, and calmness and slowly presenting the information and getting them to understand it in a language that they understand. I would like to work with certain verticals to start with, because I've gotten to know the roof business so well, and there's so many of them out there. To me, that would be a great learning experience for me, but I also can speak their language, so I kind of understand their situations. And the reason I say that is that there's for them, they're coming off a season where their cash flow is good and their bank statements look wonderful, and it's the best time to submit for any kind of funding. And usually wintertime is slow, so the bridge funding would be perfect for that marketplace, because then when spring comes and they get busy again, the paybacks wouldn't be that difficult.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. A few things that you said was really funny. You mentioned how you always use your age. I did the same thing in reverse. So I graduated high school in 08, 07, 08. And I've always been an entrepreneur. You know, all my life. I sold CDs in high school when we used to download illegal music and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to sell a bunch of CDs, man. I used to sell even some illegal stuff. I used to sell back in the day when we had like prom or parking tickets. It was literally just a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
And I was a very technical guy, so I worked at this. My first job was a computer assistant at this public center called the Jones Center here in my hometown. I used to fix computers and just clean up the viruses and make sure that they were running optimally. But I used to print out prom tickets, parking tickets. Like I used to just sell all kind of stuff. But so I was a hustler. I was always making money. So when I graduated high school, I learned about the mortgage industry, and there was a lot of money being made in the mortgage industry. And this is right when the market crashed. But I got in there. I learned the industry. When you mentioned Point Calyx, I remember running DUs, the DU findings, and all of that. I'm gonna tell you how that applies to what we're doing now. But I remember people not trusting me because I was so young at the time.
Right.
And I made a commitment never to meet my clients until closing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I would take it just like whenever you said you took advantage of your age, I did the same thing. So I knew that whenever I met them initially, and it takes some time to close a mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
They would not trust me. But when I'm on the phone, I'm very professional. They would always trust me. And then I would do something really funny. During the closing, I would go to closing dressed because I'm young. I'm like 18, 19 years old. I still didn't even know how to dress professionally. So I'd go to closing like a little young teenager. So they would walk in and they would think that, oh, am I in the wrong room? I'm like, no, Mr. Jackson, it's me, Brian. And they're like, what?
You didn't wear a baseball cap in reverse, did you?
I did all of that. I made sure I looked like a kid. Okay. I didn't even own a suit back then. Okay. I've got the way you see me on YouTube, the way I present myself. No, this was not me. I was a 18, 19-year-old kid. I had the Jordans on. I was sagging my pants. I was into hip hop and that's something. It's funny. I use my age in reverse. One thing that we share as well, Mr. Jamie, and I really appreciate it, and you can tell my sentiment on my YouTube is my job is to leave my client in a better financial position than I found them.
True.
While also helping them achieve their funding goal. I truly believe that as a business loan broker, my job is I'm like a funding doctor. Clients come to me with all their problems, like the way you go to your doctor and you got a backache or you got a stomach ache. You describe your issue to them, and they're able to ask you the right questions. Your doctor's going to tell you, does it hurt when you lift your arm like this or when you do that? And they ask you questions that are so vivid to what you're going through, and you're like, man, he gets it.
Yeah.
So when they give you the prescription, you don't question your doctor. You're like, doc, I don't know if you're right about that, because he's your doctor. So I take the same similar approach that I'm trying to help my customers. And I emphasize on that because I've seen how this industry is changing where you have a lot of different brokers that are just specifically focused on the high commissions.
Hmm.
They don't really care about what product they get their client in. Got a lot of people pushing the MCAs while there's different other options. You got a lot of people that are just their business is not focused on helping the client. I would say our goal is to help you reach your goal. My job is client describes to me what their issues are as it pertains to funding. I evaluate them based on my three paths of lending theory. I don't know if you've heard me talk about the three paths of lending.
Yeah, in
Um,
fact, I read your book.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I evaluate them and you come to me like, hey, I need 50 grand for this and that. Okay, cool. Let me
Hmm.
look at your credit. Let me look at your income and let me look at some assets. And then I present you like a buffet. This is what we can do over here on the credit side. This is what we can do over here on the revenue side. These are your options are. This is what we can do here on the asset side. What do you want to do? And then we'll go ahead and take that path together.
That was one of the things I really liked about the business in general is the fact that unlike mortgages, unless there's big drops in interest rates, you might do two or three refis over a period of a couple of years. But
Hmm.
rarely was there repeat business. There was, but nothing like what I see here. So,
Absolutely.
we have one situation with fixed that, but then in 3 months we're going to be looking at this, and then an opportunity pops up. We have this for that. So a client, in my eyes, is an ongoing consulting.
Absolutely.
Where
Absolutely. More of a reason why you need to put them in a good position. Like these
right,
people,
because
I take that everything that I learned in the mortgage industry, I use that now because we were told
Mhm.
that maintain these relationships, and you're absolutely right. Nobody's refining their house every single year, but business owners need money every year.
Yeah,
That they constantly need money. But yeah, and me as well. One thing that I fell in love when I jumped into the business side because I found out about this after the market crash in '08. If you there's a video that I explained, one day, I tried to hang on as much as I could. I even did the streamline refis, the no appraisal refi, no closing cost. I did a lot
yeah.
of those. And then eventually when Dodd-Frank came, Dodd-Frank just ruined everything.
Oh, I know, I
It,
know. I was
it,
out by then. Yeah,
it
I
was,
had I had a board. I had two builders
yeah.
that were giving me tons of business. I had a whiteboard that
Hmm.
had probably 40 properties on it that
Yeah.
we were in the process of working through and selling or refinancing and putting them into their own portfolio. And
Hmm.
and I remember vividly, it was like a Friday. All of a sudden, we got this news that everything was tightening up.
Yeah.
The not owner occupied, but the non-owner occupied business was just
Yeah.
flat, not
Subprime.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of loans I lost at that point in time.
It
And
was.
I wasn't the only one. I did a lot of govies. I was big in VA and FHA,
Yeah.
and
Well,
especially
that was the
VA.
only thing that was existent after
Yeah,
'08. You could only do VA and FHA and RDs,
yeah.
a little bit of reverse mortgages, but yeah, subprime basically was just non-existent. But I loved the structure, the process we took in the lending industry. We'll look at a file, we'll do a DU finding, we'll know exactly what the preliminary approval was, and then we'll work our conditions to closing, right?
Hmm.
So I love that. I didn't just like you. I got excited when I got into this side, and I was like, man, I don't have to just stick with real estate. I can do business credit card, I can do equipment, I can do SBA loans, I can do line of credit, I can still do real estate. I can do it all.
Right.
So that was really magic. And when I got in there, I noticed that there wasn't any structure in this industry. It was the wild, wild west. And at the time, there wasn't really a lot of companies that had everything in one shop. So I had this vision of building what I call a financial Walmart, a one-stop shop for all your funding needs. You
Yeah.
know, that's how I came up with the theory. I had to figure out a better way of how do I explain this to my clients, to help them understand what the options are as it pertains to the products. And that's how I came up with a three paths of lending theory. I was like, man, if I look at all these products,
Hmm.
they all fall into just 3 buckets. That's it.
Right.
There's nothing else. You know, my camera keeps moving around. I'm sorry, but that's how I came up with the 3 paths of lending, and the whole motivation behind 3 paths of lending was to really educate small business owners as to what their options are, for them to understand where they stand before they walk into the bank. Because those days of you relying on your banker to really look at you as a business and read your business plan, those days are over. Banks don't even care. You walk in, they just tell you, well, just fill out an app. And then you get denied. They send you that vague denial response. You know, you get a letter in the mail that doesn't really tell you anything. So to fix that gap, there's this book, but also there's this whole opportunity that we all, as business loan brokers, really legitimate business loan brokers, can take advantage of. You know, and that's what I've done. You know, I've got clients that I've been working with for years. You know, I'm like a trusted, you know, person.
Yeah.
They just come to me all the time. They don't even think, when they think money, they just come to me because they're tired of getting screwed. They're tired of, you know, filling out an app and then getting 10, 20 people blasting their phones at the same time, trying to, you know, it's just so nasty out there when it comes to, you know, this business side. So I'm on a huge mission to try to make business loan brokering more ethical again, you know, by educating people, number one, on the products and developing the right systems for us brokers in order for us to do what we're supposed to do, in essence.
Makes sense.
You know,
It was when you said '08, I was looking around for other opportunities when everything was crashing. I went and got my Series 7 license for a stockbroker, as I was thinking along those same lines. Why don't I be a one shop where I could handle different financial vehicles? And so I did that, and I got an insurance license, and so I had all these little products to bring into the table. Well, the mortgage dropped off, but I still maintained. I went out and started doing insurance.
insurance.
I did that for a good 4 years, 5 years, and it was mostly health insurance. And then that market kind of went in different direction, and I got out of that, and then ended up working with an ADT dealership. But even before the mortgages, one of the things that I think interests me about this business is I've had to have several businesses. I had my own mortgage brokerage, a small one, about six people working with me. But before that, I had a desktop publishing company back east in Connecticut, and we did on Apple computers. We did the layouts for Grow Your Encyclopedia, Funk and Wagnall. We did a lot of school books for Scholastic. So I understand the the intricacies of running a business and the stress and the cash flow that's required, and the ins and outs of that the ebb and flow of that cash flow. So
So let me ask you this: what are we trying to do? Are we trying to come in as a? There's a few ways we can work together. You know, you can come in as a referral partner. It doesn't cost anything at all. Basically, you send a deal in, and our standard referral commission is 25%. Whatever we collect, you make 25%. Next, you can come in as an agent. This is you're going to get a little bit more. You're going to get, number one, the training, and then number two, we're going to give you the assets that you need in order for you to be successful. Let me make that make sense, so I'm not so vague. We have a training course where we expand on the 3 paths of lending. I'm going to talk to you about all the different products that are available, minimum criteria to qualify, and especially for you with your knowledge, your background, is going to be so easy for you to grasp it. But I completely, wholly believe that if you don't understand what you're selling, you should sell it. So the first thing we come out there straight out the door is you understanding all the different products that are available in the marketplace. There's a 3-prong approach to that. Is you should understand the products. Number two, you should be able to also be able to learn how to pre-qualify a borrower. Since you now understand the products, you should be able to ask the right questions, you know, be that doctor of funding that I was just describing earlier.
Sure.
That's another objective behind you going through that 3 paths of lending. Then number three as well is to also help you develop your marketing, you know, so you can be able to know how to say the right words, speak the lingo in a sense, focus on the different, you know, features and benefits of each one of these programs, so you can be able to have more targeted type of marketing. So that's what's offered in the training. There's also some one-on-one as well as far as product knowledge. Next is the systems and the marketing assets. Number one, straight out the door, you need to have a CRM. We use Go High Level, is what we use our CRM.
I'm familiar with it.
You're familiar with it? Go High Level, very robust system. I've literally just transferred to it. I've just built it out. It's a pretty amazing. I'm gonna try to see if I can bring you onto my screen.
The learning curve on that is huge.
The learning curve is crazy, but I've really simplified it for you whenever you come in. I'm gonna kind of just explain give you a little nice overview of it right now. Okay. I don't even do the build out of it. I got somebody else that does that. So yeah, all you need to do, I've built out all the different pipeline stages, and this is mainly the pipeline stages for all our agents. This is it. This is all you need to understand. And to break this down, and I'm going to show you how this works exactly. Every lead that comes in as a hot lead. We're going to show you how a lead comes in here real quick. And then every lead that comes in, they need to book an appointment, which is the first objective. So when you go out there and you're advertising, they're going to click a link and they're going to fill out an application. And the first objective is for them to set a time to speak to us, right? Once they book an appointment, then there's a short application that we ask them to fill out. Application, how much money they're looking for, what do they need the money for, that type of thing. If they do complete the app, they get moved to apps completed. And the system is monitoring this in action. And I'm going to show you here in real life how this works. When they're all in app completed, you're going to have a stack of people that have all your apps completed on here. Once you do the app, they're either going to fall into 3 categories. Either there's a no-show, either you're waiting some documents that we need in order to evaluate them, credit reports, bank statements, whatever we need based on the particular client, or you've done the consultation and you've gathered the necessary documents, and then you move them to the evaluation stage. Once they're in the evaluation stage, that's when my team picks up. We'll look at it. We'll tell you exactly what your client qualifies for in the system. And I'm going to show you here in just a second. And then after that, so in real life, you'll go ahead and let's just say you have a client named Henry. Henry comes into your page and he fills out an app. We capture the information, it ends up in the hot lead. You get an email notifying you. Henry is going to be told that he needs to book an appointment. And Henry's going to book an appointment. After Henry books an appointment, Henry's going to be told that he needs to fill out a quick app so Mr. Jamie can understand what Amy really needs. And again, cool. And then at the point, Henry is going to go ahead and have that call with you. And you're going to tell Mr. Henry, hey, I need you to send me your bank statements, credit report, or whatever it is. Once you send that stuff in, you're going to move him right to evaluation. Or if you're still waiting for that stuff, you can move him to awaiting preliminary docs, right? And then after that, you tell Mr. Henry, hey, Henry, we just evaluated your file. This is what you qualify for, $100,000 in business lines. This is what the interest is. I need you to sign that fee agreement so we can go ahead and get you processed and get you into underwriting. Once Mr. Henry signs the fee agreement, you drop him into the underwriting phase and your job is done. So from a learning curve perspective, all you need to understand is how to pretty much navigate each one of these stages. Okay, so we give you access to our CRM. And another thing that I was going to show you is, let me just show you now how this, what I call a trust funnel works. So on the left side, this is our website, okay? Yep. And you're going to get something very similar to this. So when somebody clicks apply now, okay, this is the beginning of our trust funnel here. So we're going to just test this out, and you're going to get your own similar one. It's going to have Jamie and all that information. We're going to build this for you. So you're going to get, as far as, and this is me explaining to you the systems that you get. You get access to a CRM, but you get a CRM that actually works with your website, with your landing page. And I want you to think of when you're writing all your marketing emails, when you Facebook ads, when you're talking to people on the phone and they're interested to apply or whatever it is, what do you do next? This is what you do. You say, I'm going to send you this quick short link. So this is what they're going to fill it out. So let me just say Jamie test. We're going to put Jamie's name out there. We're going to put your, and once they fill this out, on my right side, you're going to see the system is going to capture that information here real quick in just a second. But once that information is filled out, there's a video here. That's me explaining to you and trying to get your lead. See, I'm gonna pause it. See there right there on my right side, Jamie test?
Yep.
It just came in. So, okay. So it's a system that actually works for you. We're going to build this system. You get this for free. So now this is me trying to get your client to schedule an appointment. Now you can do one or two things. Especially for you, I would love for you to remake this video so we can put your video right here. You know, you can use your grandma, grandpa, all of that charisma that we just discussed. So next, now we're going to get Mr. Jamie Test to schedule an appointment. Mr. Jamie Test comes right here. And keep in mind, look on the right side. He's on the hot lead section, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now we're going to get him to schedule an appointment. And then we get you a custom calendar that is just yours, by the way. This is some additional marketing assets that we give you. So we're going to have Jamie Test, 845. We're going to put his email address right there. And then we're going to schedule a meeting for Jamie Test. Now, eventually, you're going to see them moved to booked call incomplete app. Now, again, we'll give you this bird's eye view so you can see what's going on with all the leads in your pipeline. Do you see that? Just moved right there? Perfect. And so even whenever you have an assistant or somebody that works for you, they understand how to look at your business from a bird's eye view and see what's going on. So let's just say right now Jamie is there, booked an appointment, but the app is incomplete. Now, if you see on my left side, this is what Jamie is going through right here. Now we're going to go ahead and get Jamie's phone number. How much money was Jamie looking for? Jamie's looking for $25,000. Jamie needs a business credit card for business expansion or something like that. So we're going to go all the way through this app. How did you hear about us? Broker. Okay, Jamie's address, basic stuff. Just put that right there. Legal entity, Test LLC, 25 years, nature and business, consulting. And all of this is, whenever we create this is going to be a custom one just for you. This is not a generic one. I'm just going to kind of speed this up. So you just skip this section. How's your credit? Basic questions as it pertains to the business. I'm trying to gather as much information as possible. So whenever you get on that call, you're able to, you even have some stuff to talk to them about. Go ahead and put that. So now, as you will see, Jamie is going to now pop up here in just a second. The system is doing its thing, and he's going to pop up into booked call app completed. Okay. Then there's a quick video here. Me kind of, by the way, thank you so much for booking the time and trusting us. Of course, thanking them and all of that stuff, telling them that the appointment is going to be scheduled in 24 hours. You see Jamie right there?
Yep.
Boom. So, and again, now you're going to have that call with Mr. Jamie. Hey, Jamie, and you have all the information that Jamie, had put in there, and pretty much everything that was on there. You're going to speak to them, and then after that, you're going to move Jamie into either one of those next stages that we just discussed here. Let me close this side right here so we can have a full view. Where's Jamie? Jamie's right here. So you're going to have a call with Jamie, and you're going to move Jamie to what? Either call no show, awaiting preliminary docs, or when you gather the necessary documents, you're going to move him to evaluation. But the ultimate goal at this point is for you to get Jamie to the evaluation stage. You follow me?
Right.
And then after Jamie gets evaluated, there's going to be right here, post-evaluation report. We're going to tell you exactly what Jamie qualifies for based on our three-factor lending structure. What Jamie qualifies for credit-based lending. What Jamie qualifies for revenue-based lending. And lastly, what Jamie qualifies for any kind of asset-based lending, real estate or equipment, right? Everything is going to be provided right here. There's actually going to be an AI-generated report that we're working on so we can give you instant evaluations. Everything, all the way down to if Jamie needs credit, we're going to tell you how much it's going to cost to fix their credit and how long it would take. All that information is going to be right there. So you go ahead, you grab your phone, you go over this information with Jamie, and then you get Jamie to fill out the agreement. If it's a credit consulting agreement or a funding agreement, whatever that agreement is, you get Jamie to fill out that agreement. If you get Jamie to fill it out on the spot, great. If not, you move him to the agreement stage. Maybe you have your assistant, maybe you follow up the next day. And it's, as you can see, your job, I've literally taken this from our mortgage background. As a funding consultant, you need to build and manage your pipeline.
Yeah.
So I've tried to simplify it as much as possible, and I've tried to give you as an agent enough information and enough ammunition. Number one, from a product knowledge standpoint, I think I've done an excellent job. And then next, we've built this what I call a trust funnel that works really well with our system, and it's connected with everything that you might need. All the agreement templates, all your calendar, There's even AI assistance on here. It's pretty robust what Go High Level does, but you don't have to do none of that stuff. My team has built it and it's all ready to go for you. Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see the similarities. It's, I mean, back in the early 2000s, and I got in the mortgage business in 98. You know, everything was, you know, notepads.
Yes.
You know, I
Yes.
mean, yeah, we had even Point wasn't exactly a CRM. It was, you know, yeah, you put the files in there, but that's always after the fact when, you know, the deal was consummated. It's time to get rolling and getting approved. But and it's funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember we were getting so busy at some of the refi peaks. When things got a little slow, I would clean my desk and usually found 3 or 4 deals because you know you're working and you got piles and you got post-it notes and you got everything going on. And finally, you know, Friday afternoon, it's well, I got to clean this mess, and you start going,
Mhm.
oh, I got to call this one. Oh, so I make the call Saturday morning, and sure enough, I'm out Monday collecting another application.
Wow.
But this is what the system you have takes away my cluttered desk.
Yes. Yes. That's absolutely. This takes away it's one of my gifts I think that God blessed me with is kind of just organization. Because it's the name of the game, just like mortgages, we're just trading documents back and forth.
Right.
It's just literally what it is. It's just
Mm-hmm.
in a structured way. We're getting credit reports. We're seeing what they qualify for. We let the client know what they qualify for. They're signing the agreement. We get it back to the lender. We're just going back and forth, back and forth. But it's got to be structured and organized. you know.
I did a lot of work in the Hispanic community. I had a still have a good friend of mine, uh, bilingual, and there were days that we would go out and I would write 5, 6 applications, with him being the explainer and me being uh, the white accountant over here with the pencil and doing all the numbers. And we'd have a ball. We'd close a lot of loans. And but the interesting thing about it is when we sat down with a couple, there usually was extended family that would crowd around the table to watch what was going on. And by the end of the day, we had 2 or 3 more appointments just from the galley, yeah, viewers. So, um, and you know, and I out here in Denver, that's a big market is Hispanic, both in businesses as well.
Mhm.
Um, and so it would that would be something that I could definitely tap into as well. But that was a lot of fun
Absolutely.
back in the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is what our agent the again first program referral partner 25% commission. Second program agent program. You get the education plus you get the systems. Part of the systems is the trust funnel plus the CRM system we just discussed, and we do 50-50 commission. We handle all the fulfillment, you handle the sales. Just the way I described it. You submit all the information to us, we evaluate them, get them back to you, let you know what to qualify for. You close the deal. Once the agreement is done, we'll handle all the fulfillment. We'll process it, and you will see it in the system what's going on with each of
Okay.
these clients. The next is our agency program. This is where now we teach you everything. We'll teach you the products. We'll teach you. We'll build your own system, and then we'll build your own website. We'll build your own CRM. We'll build your own agreements, and you get to do your own thing and handle your own fulfillment, and you keep 100% of the profits. That's another. That's called the agency program. So
And that looks like a headache.
it is.
I,
It is something that if you've never done this before, I would never advise you to do it.
yeah.
Because it
I
doesn't.
always had very good processors,
Yeah, you want to
and
have a
you know,
processor. That's somebody that's you're trying to build this long term. Once you close a few deals, if that's something that you're interested in, yeah, we can talk about making that transition. But I would always suggest people to get your feet wet, get into the agent program, close 1 or 2 deals, learn how the system works, and then once you're comfortable, then yeah, if you want to do that, then you can navigate into running your own agency.
I'm more interested in the closing, the marketing, getting people interested, talking to them, and getting them to understand what options they have.
Mhm.
That's my strength, and I would I would probably prefer to play in that.
Okay.
I would not be super interested in getting into the weeds of all the processing and understanding. Now, if I ended up with somebody in a partnership that was their strength, then that would be a different story at that time. But right now, I can see myself as getting to that midsection where uh, getting people to understand, build the pipeline, uh, and utilizing the tools and toys I have to get the word out as to what we have.
Gotcha. One of the things I love, and I think this will be very easy for you to just kind of jump into, is you're already generating leads. You know, the biggest challenge in this type of business, as you pretty much know, is lead generation.
Yeah.
You know, I can teach you. I'm really good at this. If you've watched my videos, I'm very good when it comes to funding. But I'm not going to provide you my leads. Okay,
They're yours.
they're my leads.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the different tactics that I use to generate leads. And when it comes to generating leads, I tell people all the time, there's no science to it. There's two ways on how to generate leads. You know, it's either you pay with time or you pay with money.
Mm-hmm.
You choose. You can pay with money, do Facebook ads, and I'll give you a trust funnel. As you can see, you do ads, you tie that into it, it will capture the leads all for you every day. You log in here, you just see them populate for you. Or you can do pay with time, you know. And I teach people. You would love my AI training. I don't know if you've seen when I teach people about Scrapebox.
No,
Oh,
I
you gotta
haven't.
check that stuff out. I'm gonna send you a video on that. I teach people how to scrape data on the internet. Um, yeah, let me pull up this video. I'm gonna send this to you right now. How to use AI tools to get data. I'm talking about I can get all the truck drivers in California's email addresses. I can get all the restaurant owners in Atlanta name, email, and phone number, email addresses. Because if the the way that we used to generate leads with time used to be going to marketing events, going to
Right.
BNI, going to coffee and dates or whatever. And the objective was, Jamie, was to get somebody's business card so we can add them into our database so we can market to them. Right?
Yep.
What if I can tell you, I can show you how to get 5,000 real estate agents name, email addresses, and phone numbers?
You're preaching to the choir here. I have several programs that do exactly that. I use a program called Reonomy for my roofers, and what's interesting about that program, it gives me every building in the United States, who owns it, and then who is actually renting in it, all the occupants. So if I want a plaza, if I have plazas in Denver, I can download all the plazas and every business occupant in that plaza with
What's the name of this
contact.
software?
It's called Reonomy.
Reonomy.
Reonomy. It's more designed for seeking out building owners. But one of the nice things is when you download, it asks you, do you want the occupants in the building? And of course, I say yes. And usually it's a 4 or 5 or 6 to 1 number. So if I pull down 1,000 buildings, I may end up with 4,000, 5,000 pieces of data of actual business owners. So I can pick out what kind of buildings I'm looking for, whether it's warehouses, plazas, malls,
cool.
and all that stuff. That's one aspect. That's one area. The other one is I mentioned before is Clay, and Clay is very good at doing that as well. There's another program I bought that I use a lot that works with um, LinkedIn, and when I so there's a multifaceted thing going. So if I find a building owner that looks really interested, I have some kind of communication with them, I can go over and in this program pull their information from LinkedIn, um, and then go to AI, and the AI will give me prior to a meeting a full background of that individual, uh, pulling it from different sources in the internet, including LinkedIn, but also other information, so that when I have a meeting or the fellow that I'm booking appointment for has a meeting, they have good, solid information on that individual and can kind of look for similarities and common ground.
Now,
Go ahead.
let me ask you this. Now you scrape the data. What are you doing with it? Are you doing cold calls, cold emails? What are you doing?
I'm using Instantly right now. If I'm doing a bulk email, if I have one of the things I have groused about with my two roofers is they don't have enough salespeople. I could put them in front of a lot more owners, and that's kind of my problem. The is getting not finding the right buildings for them or the right owners. It's getting people to follow up on it, and so from that standpoint, I looked at it. And what I was doing with them is I was able to look down on their roofs from Google Maps, Google Earth, and I see a very trashy roof. And then I would send out some information, send a picture out, saying, we'd like to come out and inspect your roof. It's free of charge, blah, blah, blah. And we would get a response. Also, because of the leaks and everything, I'd send out another different type of email talking about free leak repairs with our inspections. Okay. And it gets the people to respond to me, and that different aspects.
Jamie, you get this. You really do, because one of the things I was going to mention to you is I specifically focus on very targeted marketing as far as my copy. I am not very generic. I tell people all the time, nobody wants to get your generic, we offer funding emails, because people are sick and tired of that stuff. They want you to communicate directly to them, to your avatar. So I educate people about how to scrape data for specific groups of people, restaurant owners in LA. And then when you're writing your marketing, you need to talk to restaurant owners in LA and the issues that restaurant owners in LA are having issues with. When you're dealing with event planners in Atlanta, talk to them. Don't be very generic. Mention, are you an event planner in Atlanta struggling with, working, line of credit to cover some of the, whatever it is, you want to speak directly to them. I think you might be perfect, man. You'll be really good with your marketing efforts, tying into the trust funnel that we built. You can literally just be in the background and the system will just populate all these people that you're attracting in there. And then
the interesting is you mentioned the different verticals. And that's where AI would come in, because I could go over to ChatGPT or any of them and just put in what are the major concerns of
yes,
and then and now I have it in front of me, and let's talk.
Yes, I usually I have a prompt, and it's all included in the course. I have a prompt that I ask ChatGPT to tell you 4 issues that specifically industry has that you can solve with 3 paths of lending. So I'll give you an example, like let's say truck drivers. Most truck drivers need money for fuel and to cover tolls. They need money for any kind of unforeseen expenses, tire blows out or any kind of brakes, whatever happens. Some of them need money to purchase new equipment. Maybe they have old equipment. Some of them need money to carry them over because they don't get paid once they reach their destination. They got to wait before they get that check. So, and then the next step is I write those issues and I tell the AI, I use Claude or I use ChatGPT, and I tell ChatGPT, write me a 25 email nurturing sequence targeting truck drivers. And then I say, these are the 4 issues that most truck drivers have. They need help with this, this, and that. And I can solve these problems with my funding programs. My business credit card will do this. My equipment financing program will do this. And ChatGPT, and I usually kind of put it on there, make sure you're witty and bombastic with your message. I don't want no general nice, I want you, especially with the subjects, I want very attention-grabbing subjects, and then ChatGPT kind of does his thing. And then after that, I kind of clean up, the copy that it gives me. And then I use Lemlist. I think you said you use Instantly, but it's the same thing. Because I use Lemlist or, like Instantly to get the code to warm. And then when they're warm, they're in the system and the system does its own thing as well. Make sense?
Yes.
So dude, you'll be really perfect at this, man. I think, and you can sit back. There's no cold calling, because that's another thing that, in my opinion, just doesn't work anymore. You got to be able to I always tell people that tell my students this: instead of trying to catch the chicken, you're gonna you're gonna trip and fall. Let's figure out how to attract the chicken. Let's put some
Right.
seeds down and bring that chicken to you. You know, and that's the approach that I've taken when it comes to marketing. You know, is to try to attract it.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Attraction marketing is always better. You know, even in my early days in mortgages, I did a lot of advertising and direct mail, because I wanted something in their face when it hit, when they saw postcards mostly.
exactly.
And you know, that was before really having a lot of online abilities. Now it's, you know, you got to, you know, email is good, but there's certain things you have to really do to make it work, because there's so many emails going out to business
Every
owners.
day, yeah.
They, you know, unless you got something that really catches their eye. But also, you know, one-up marketing doesn't work. You know, you have to be consistent, and you have to have some kind of a process, and a multi dimensional way of reaching out to individuals, whether it's online, whether it's even a phone call or a text message, or however it can happen.
Absolutely.
Um, so, and as that happens, when there's a problem in their business, um, you become top of mind, hopefully.
Exactly.
And
That's you know, that's the whole point. You know, I think they say that it takes like 22 touches before somebody does business with you. You know, some crazy number like that. But yeah, that's the promise. You know, that's the whole point of doing that. But we build that with I teach people how to launch a marketing campaigns to target at least 2,500 to 5,000 people every week for,
Mhm.
you know, just spending at least 2 hours a day. You know, because majority of the people that I'm working with them, there's some of them are trying to transition into doing this. And I said, hey, it doesn't take that much. You know, once you learn everything else and you complete the course, I just ask you to dedicate 2 hours a week and set your calendar up with whatever days that you're available, because you don't want somebody to book an appointment and then you not be able to make it because you're busy or
All
you're
right,
doing
no,
something.
that won't happen.
You know,
Yeah,
so set your calendar up, and after that, just blast those emails out. Just blast those
hmm
emails out. And it's a numbers game. You send 2,500 emails, you know, maybe 10% of them are going to be open. That's 250. Out of that
right.
250, maybe, you know, 50% of them will maybe interact, you know, and then,
hmm
you know, out of that, maybe 100 are going to book an appointment. Out of that 100, maybe 50 are going to show up. Out of that 50, only 25 are going to do business with you. And out of that 25, oh, you probably just need like 3 or 4 to make a really good, you know, really good commission out of this. And with the automation and the systems in place, it makes our job so easy, because you just gotta,
Right.
you know, you just gotta sit back, write those emails, and then the system will take care of everything else. And you just tweak the system, see where there's any kind of failures, and you just adjust it, and you know, just kind of keep it moving. I think you'd be excellent at this, man. I think we need to get you started as an agent. You know, see how that goes, get your feet wet, and then you kind of just tell me where you want to go from there.
I found you because we have a mutual friend,
Cool.
Mr. Oz.
Oh, the magic of Oz. Please tell me.
I saw his video first,
Okay.
and then I saw your video explaining why I shouldn't have anything to do with it. And the more I watched some of his stuff, then he started bombarding me with emails, and I started looking more online about. And you know, there's a I've always, you know, when the hair goes up on the back of your head, you know, somebody is overselling something.
Hmm.
That's usually when I run away. And then I saw your video explaining that, and I did a little more research. And it's funny because I got on to LinkedIn, and I did a search on that particular company as to who was on LinkedIn, and I got some phone numbers, and I picked out four. Three had websites that had phone numbers, so I called all three numbers, and they were all disconnected. So
Really?
I'm saying, okay. Then the fourth one was a guy that was retired, and the best explanation was, "Oh, it was all right." And you know, so I kind of started to get the feeling that you know, this wasn't as successful as
As you, yeah.
all the hype pretended to be.
Hmm.
So then I started looking. I also looked at some other company, United. Hold on a second. Maybe you know them. United Consulting something.
United Consulting something.
Yeah.
You're not talking about Global Financial Training, not them, right?
No.
United
Yeah.
Consulting something.
Let me see something. Oh, United Capital Sources.
United Capital Source. I think that they're just brokers. They don't offer any kind of training, do they?
No, that's when I found out. Okay,
Mhm.
referral agents.
Yeah, United Capital Source. Yeah, they just brokers.
Yeah.
You know, they do a lot of brokering. So,
What?
okay. Well, Jamie, when we starting to work together,
Okay.
I'd love to work with you, man. You would make a great testimonial.
All right. What is what kind of money is can be made in this business?
What kind of money can you make?
Yeah. I mean, I just a general question. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know each program is different, and there's percentages, you know.
Yes, I'll give you a nice little breakdown, and we're going to break that down based on the 3 parts. So first off, it's credit based. With credit based, we're talking about business credit card and personal credit cards.
Sure.
We charge 10%. Is our success fee. So you know you make 50%, of course, if you come in as an agent. Yeah. You keep okay. Then next you have our revenue based programs. Revenue based programs with MCAs, you can make up to 12 points. You know, on average, MCAs I make about 8 to 10%. You know, it just depends on the lender. Some of them, they even offer promotions. Some of them will pay up to 15 points, believe it or not. It's really crazy.
Okay.
With MCAs. MCAs is a very, very expensive product for the client. It's always what I say, how bad do you want it type of money, but it's the fastest way they can get funded. SBA loans, I believe, I think we're limited to 5 points. Like revenue lines of credit. And this is the thing with this industry, just like with mortgages, there's sometimes that we can double dip, meaning that, you know how we used to get yield spread and we used to get origination fee?
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days before the Dodd-Frank came with that GFE and you had to disclose everything, all that stupid stuff that he did. But we can still play in that world, in this world. That's one thing I love about this industry. So it just really depends on how you want to set it up. For example, with credit cards, we don't get paid by the lender at all. Okay. So that's why we charge the client a success fee. With MCAs, that 12% that I just mentioned, that comes from the lender.
Yeah.
So you have some some brokers that do charge maybe a little small thing on the front end. You know, there's clients, depending on the deal, I'll get paid 10% on the back end and I'll charge a $9.50 application fee, you know, for once they get funded. So it just really depends on how you want to set that up. Real estate, both ways. You know, some lenders will pay yield spread, some of them don't. You know, of course, we will know once we get the pre-approval. The lenders will send us the letter of interest, and it's going to tell us what, you know, what they're going to do.
When you say real estate, are you that brings up a thought with building owners. That program Reonomy, it tells me when their loan is coming due.
Really?
Yes. So
how do you spell Reonomy?
REONOMY. Oh, then I'd have to look. Reonomy.
Reonomy, okay.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Oh, okay. And it's designed primarily for construction work. For marketing. How much is it? It's like $3,500 a year.
Okay.
And it has you can you're limited to 1,000 downloads a month. However, there's ways that I get around it that, you know, if I just pull onesies and twosies, it doesn't count towards 1,000. And because I with the marketplace I was working with, I didn't need great big. Yeah, there you go.
This is it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So if you click on any of, or if you click on, let's say, one of the ones on the left-hand side.
This is just an image. I don't think this allows me to play with it. It's just an image.
Oh, no, because you don't have the program,
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, what it'll tell you is when you click on any of those dots, it'll bring up the building and who owns it. And but then up here, you see where it says property type and filters. That's where you can enter in what you want, what kind of properties you're looking at. Let's say you have a program for warehouse financing. You can go in and pull up all the warehouses, who owns them, when are they due for next financing, because it tells you how much their loan was when they got the loan. And usually, with uh, commercial real estate, they're usually on a 5-year plan, mortgage, and so they're constantly redoing it. And a lot of times that's their little ATM. So the next thing, the building's gone up in value. They can, instead of having a $500,000 mortgage, they'll do $1 million mortgage, and now they've got $500,000 tax free.
This is interesting. I'm gonna check this out. This is pretty cool. That seems like some really good info. I appreciate you sharing that.
Not a problem. No, there's.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so we're getting started.
What's the process? You gotta send me something, and
real easy. And I'm gonna give you a deal. Usually I charge $39.95 for the agent program. If you're looking to sign up within ASAP, I'll drop it down to $2,500. It's a one-time fee. That gives you the education that we just discussed. You get your system, you get your landing page. It's a one-time fee. You don't pay any monthly fee for all that extras that we just discussed. That's all set up. Your funnel, your CRM access, your landing page, pretty much everything. Your calendar. You don't have to pay Calendly. It's all going to be all done in one-time fee. $2,500. That's what we're looking at.
All right. And
how do you want to take care of that?
Do you want to, and that's to go through is that also the training process, or is that?
Yeah, that includes everything. So
okay.
You get the video training.
Mm-hmm.
You get the one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And I'm really big on that, because I really think that even if you're learning how to ride a bike, there's no way you can just watch videos on how to ride a bike and learn how to ride a bike.
No.
You need somebody to guide you. Like, okay, I got the. So the intention behind the videos is for you to grasp the concept. So I want you to check in with me after each module. There's 4 modules in this course. Module 1 is product knowledge. Like I told you, 3 packs of landing. For you, it's going to be a breeze. We're going to have a one-on-one after you get done with that. Maybe bounce your head. You might have some questions about some different products. Okay, great. Module 2 is going to focus more on evaluation and pre-qualifying. Really understand what the underwriters are looking at. Because module 1 is focused on, how to present the products, understanding the products. Now, module 2 is focused now. How do the banks think about this stuff? What are they looking for in order for somebody to qualify? That's what module 3 is going to be. Module 2, I should say. Module 3, we're going to now start talking about systems. We're going to talk about Go High Level. We're going to talk about your calendar system. We're going to talk about your trust funnel. We're going to set all that stuff up. I'm going to have a meeting with you, get your logo, the name of your business. We're going to set up your email address, and we're going to get your CRM set up. And then once we get your CRM set up, you're going to do the last module, which is sales, marketing, and kind of mindset, which is our last module, where we're going to talk about some of the different marketing tactics. You've already shared a lot today. That we're going to have that conversation again. I'm going to help you develop some marketing assets, some lead magnets, and then you just launch this thing. The first thing at that point, we're going to discuss how you want to market, cold or paid. We make that decision, and then you just get started and start submitting deals. So 4-module course. Pause after each model. Literally, you're working at your own pace, but I'm definitely available to guide you through each one of the modules, and then let's just get started. And you have the system. You pretty much understand, all the products. It's going to be pretty easy for you, and you can kind of see how the system works. It's going to be a little short, brief learning curve, but I've made it where it's not scary. I do not want you to be complicated with Go High Level, because Go High Level is a big beast. And I don't want you to think. I just want you to, if you saw what I said, I want you to know what each stage means and get your people to the due diligence stage. That's all your job you got to do. You just got to move them there. That's it.
I like that.
Make sense?
It does. It does. As for the 2,500, is there a possibility of breaking that up?
What are you comfortable with? I'm willing to work with you.
Okay.
I want in one condition. I want an
What's that?
amazing review once you're done with
Oh,
the
no
program.
problem.
And most importantly, I'm gonna be honest, when I first you jumped on here, I was like, man, this guy might be a little bit too old for this, because there's a techie curve. And I make really good money doing this, but I'm not just gonna take advantage of you, take $2,500 just to do it if you're not gonna make any profit out of this. Eventually, and if I can be selfish here for a second, and if honestly, if you can just look at this from how amazing this business model is, Jamie, you're going to pay me $2,500 to watch the training videos that I already created, so I can get you to start sending me some business and making me more money. That's literally what we're doing here. So
you're also giving me the system.
I'm also getting you the system.
It's far more important than, well, the training is important too, but
absolutely.
Once the training is in your head, you're moving on, and now you have all the additional tools along with the tools I have. This can really blow up nicely.
Yes, and most importantly, I try to get people to understand is, I want you to make money so bad, because when you make money, I make money.
Of course.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? So it is. I'm incentivized for you to make.
My first mortgage guy that I worked with, we run a 50-50 split, which in the mortgage industry back then was kind of low. But the reason why I liked it is the man put out a half a page ad every Saturday in the real estate section of the Denver Post. And a few of us would actually come in on a Saturday and sit down and just answer the phone. So I didn't care about the percentages, because if I wanted more, I would just answer the phone more. So it becomes, what is the bottom line? What is the number, not the percentage? So and if you've got the system that's in place that can generate more business, if I need more money, then I just write more business. Then the percentage doesn't matter.
That's basically what this is, man. That's basically what it is. How about this? Are you comfortable with splitting? We'll do half now, and then we can do half in 30 or 45 days if you want to do that. So that would be what, $1,250 to get started, give you full access to the course and everything, and then we can do the rest. And you can tell me what you're comfortable with, 30 or 45 days.
Okay. I think we can work on something like that.
Okay.
I want to run it by the upper management. Okay. I got to speak with my wife a little bit, but I'm pleased with it. So we can go forward with it. Are you going to send me some sign up docs?
We can do it right now. I can just go ahead and since this is a custom price, I don't have like an invoice link for you. So I'll just kind of have to run it manually, and then I'll kind of just get you enrolled right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let me and we'll do a follow-up here for 45 days. I'm gonna set up a task here to check on you. And we're gonna talk a lot before then. So you're gonna get an opportunity to be talking. How long you been married, man?
40. You mentioned when you graduated. I graduated 72, and that is my age.
Really?
I'm 72. Wow. And the marbles in the head still work.
I am hopefully I'm your 72 when I get to 72. Honestly, at 72, I just want to be somewhere at the beach smoking weed all day.
Yeah. It's a little different. I have very elderly in-laws, and they stay with us, and we keep an eye on them. So this
your in-laws?
My in-laws are both 88, and so me and my wife keep an eye on them, make sure they're good and well fed, and no problems. And but they both have medical issues, so we keep an eye on all that. But it gives me the opportunity. I have a little office down here in the basement, away from all the action, and and so I don't have a problem working down here and being able to be on the phone, and my wife is usually upstairs taking care of any issues that might come up. But that's the cards that were dealt, and I'm working in that situation. But yeah, I think I would prefer to be on the beach somewhere, but that may come at some point. But I enjoy work. I enjoy computers. I enjoy learning new stuff, and
it sounds like you do, because at your age, and of course, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I'm okay. So I'm gonna tell you this story. I was using a CRM called Infusionsoft. It was built by a company called Keep for years. I've always had that system. I think I since 2011 I've used that system. Now, if you understand a CRM is like a marriage. Okay, you just don't get
I built them in with a different different program.
Yeah. So if you know a CRM, you don't just change to a new CRM. You just don't do that. Okay. It's gotta be a real good reason. So as I'm building this, I just noticed that Infusionsoft was going to limit our growth. It didn't have all this new stuff, the AI stuff, and they just stopped developing it. It's just stuck, and a CRM is more than just a way to just manage your contacts and your tasks. It's supposed to do way more than that in today's world. So I had to switch to Go High Level. I literally just switched like 4 months ago. Okay. And I say that to you because I'm 36 years old and I refused to learn a new system. Like my brain was, I don't want to. I don't want. So I see you at 72 and your brain is still welcome to learn new stuff. At your age, if I would have saw an AI, I would, okay, that is too much. Okay.
Well, I was working for doing work for this roofing company in Denver, and they opened up a new division on the commercial side, and they had nothing. So I had to go into Airtable. You're familiar with that, the database program, and I built a CRM and an order pipeline program, so that my guy, who is not a computer but he's a roof genius, could look at what's out there. And I used to do all the bids for him and put them into the system, and he could follow up on those bids. And but yeah, it's difficult to and I mean it's a simplistic form. It's nothing like what you have, but it does have the CAN-CAM thing.
Check this out. Funny thing, you mentioned Airtable. I'm writing another book, and also it's going to be for my new product called Capital Atlas. Okay, because my first book was called Three Paths to Lending. That more was so directed towards small business owners to educate them on what their options are. My next book is going to be Capital Atlas, and it's more so directed to business loan brokers to teach them how to structure a loan. How to quickly structure a loan, because we usually get a client, and then the next thing is you have to find a home for that client's need for that loan scenario. And usually a lot of brokers are just limited to like maybe a spreadsheet, or maybe what they have in their brain or what they thought about last time, which lender did this. So I have a database called Capital Atlas that's going to have every single lender on there and every single criteria based on the three paths of lending. And you're going to be able to do searches based on two different ways. You can do a manual search based on your client. I got a guy in Alaska looking for a fix and flip loan, and he has a 580 credit score. And you do a search, and it's going to spit out lenders that meet that criteria. Or I'm plugging it into Airtable. That's funny you mentioned that. And I'm connecting an AI tool to Airtable where you can do a search prompt. I got a gentleman named Henry in Alaska looking for a fix and flip loan. This is the property address. So you hit enter, and the AI will actually spit out the lenders for you.
Good.
Because for me, it's the same. I'm basically just constantly trying to solve problems that I'm having. Because
if you're having it, other people are having it.
I know that they're having it. Because if you send me a client right now, let's say you're interested in purchasing commercial property, what I have always done and what I still do right now to this day, I have a spreadsheet. And after I do all the preliminary pre-qualification, your credit score, you have the down payment and all this other stuff. Now I got to choose which land I'm going to send it to. But the way I do that, I grab my freaking notepad and I look at my spreadsheet and I list about a good 5 of them manually. And then I send it attached to my assistant, and my assistant sends the file over. But I want to be able to speed up that process a little bit, because mainly what I do when I select the manually, number one, you go to the people that you're familiar with, what you've used to before. You see what I'm saying? I was speaking with one of my other associate brokers yesterday. She was telling me about some lenders, and I'm like, "What? They do that? I didn't know about that." And it's because I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah.
I'm not, but if I had this AI tool that I can prompt it and I'm constantly updating that AI tool with all the relevant, because I get emails all the time. You know how we get those emails from the lenders. This is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing now. And I have somebody in the Philippines and I'm paying $3 an hour, and all they doing is just updating that database every single day. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, well, I'm building something amazing here, man, and I really truly appreciate somebody with and these are the type of people I want to work with, people like you, people that can really see this opportunity as not a get rich quick scheme, because I've sold it to a lot of people like, oh, you can make this much money, and they come in and they don't make that money, and then I always, no, this is not a get rich quick scheme, and I always tell people at a time, and I always want to have a conversation about how are you going to generate leads, because if you can generate leads, I can make you some money. Okay. And I'll help you with everything you need to do in order for you to generate leads. I'll create the CRM, I'll create the trust funnel, I'll do everything. But you need to go out there and generate some leads. Bring those leads to me and we're going to get them funded. I promise you, I guarantee you that we're going to get them funded.
And one of the things that may be in your future would be to another profit area would be to set up a system that does generate leads that can be bought into and
I'm working
and
on that. Yes, this is what I have in mind. And it's so funny that you mentioned that, Jamie, because I was thinking about it and I was like, man, I got all these students that have come in here and they're just like freaking, I hate to use this word, but they're like these slaves, but I have nothing for them to do. So if I can generate leads, if I can utilize my clout, and I'm actually working on doing that. I'm working on a few real estate deals, and I've actually partnered up with a guy that's going to be helping me generate leads from a mass scale. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm working with qualified people. Like you would be really perfect for me, because I don't want to. It takes effort and money to generate leads, but I don't want to send it to somebody that doesn't know what to say whenever they get the comments on the phone. So I have I started it last week. I started a 90-day marketing challenge where I'm challenging my students, especially some of the ones that really need some help, to get them to at least close one deal. Because this is what my only criteria is. I need you to close one deal from a lead that you generate, and I'll start helping you generate leads. Just one. And I think that, I want them to have a little skin in the game.
Definitely, yeah.
And once they can do that, then we can start generating some leads. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send you an email. If you're available tonight at 7 p.m., I usually have a meeting at 7 p.m. on the first Wednesday of every month, but the first Wednesday ended up on the first of this month, so I moved it to tonight. I'm gonna send you a Zoom invite and everything. I would love for you to join in. It's where I come in and I work with some of those people that are having some challenges with lead generation. We kind of talk about different ideas on how to do that. It would be dope for you to come in today. I'm actually going to bring up your thing that you're talking about, Reonomy. I'm going to talk about that being an option for them to generate leads. I'm always learning from people that I work with, so I appreciate you for bringing that up. But anyway, let's take care of this. I got another appointment here in about 10 minutes. Let's take care of this payment. I get you.
One last thing. Reonomy is very expensive, but what I would recommend anybody that needed to get really cheap leads, have you ever used ListShack?
No, I have not.
$50 a month, and you have access to every business in the country.
You know what I use? I use Scrapebox, because Scrapebox is a live scraper.
And this is similar in that regard. You can filter accordingly. So if you're looking for a particular type of business or particular geography, my point is that for those, and I don't know, it's very expensive. So for somebody that has, let's say, limited resources and needs direction, here's my application on a workday neighborhood, just so that they can talk the language of the neighborhood. Here's a good program. They can pull data from. They can pull different types of businesses. So maybe their dad owns a liquor store. So let me download all the liquor stores in the 10-mile radius, and I'll reach them. I know the lingo. I know what they're going through. Blah 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 blah. To me, that it's a very inexpensive way to generate and get the kind of leads that you want to get to start with, without, spending a lot of money
Too much
and
money.
using your time as a seller. But
Man,
I've used that quite a bit.
well, stuff like that, Mr. Jamie, because as I'm growing this, because I was even thinking, eventually once I get, because I started doing this, I'm not as established as Oz. I've been doing this for about a year and a half. If you've watched my videos, I just started doing this. So eventually I'm gonna need some help. And I would love for people like you, as this thing grows, as I even shared with you, I just moved to Go High Level like 3 months ago. So there's a lot of changes that's been going on so far, so fast, recently. And I would love to even get into a position, of course, you'll be compensated where I can have you maybe manage a group of some of these students. Because right now I think I got almost 100. I want to say I got about 78 students or something like that.
Okay.
So it's a small team, and I intentionally did that because once you have something like this, sometimes you don't know how the market is going to be responding to your idea. So I built the course. I took a year. I built an amazing curriculum. I really love it, and I noticed, okay, I got to change my CRM, so I had to tweak it up a little bit. And I noticed, okay, now I got to teach them how to generate leads because the course is amazing, the systems are great, but these people don't have leads. And unless I teach them how to generate leads, this is not going to work. So there's all these layers that I've tried to add on to it, as I'm going. And another layer is going to have to be support. There's no way that I'm going to be able to be the hooray, getting the team going every single time. So eventually, I'll need somebody like yourself, with compensation needed, that can have some of these meetings and give them a little sense of direction as to what this is what I'm doing, this is what we're doing, and kind of help them one on one. We can talk about that later on, man. Let me get you enrolled on here, and then tonight I'm gonna send you a link so you can join on the meeting tonight. And like I said, I'm gonna give you access to the course after every module. I want to meet with you one on one, just like this, and let's discuss what's going on, and we'll just kind of get this thing rolling. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, we're gonna do 1250, $1,250 today. I'm ready for your card number when you are. Where are you located, man? Nice.
North of Denver.
Denver, Colorado. Okay, I was in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that's
2 years ago.
Yep, it's pretty down there, and I was just through there about 2 weeks ago, and
Born and raised in Colorado, or where you originally from?
no, Waterbury, Connecticut.
Okay, so you always like this cold weather stuff, huh?
Where are you located?
I'm in Arkansas. I'm in Fayetteville,
Oh,
Arkansas.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wife is retired, or?
Yeah.
And what does she do for work?
Well, she used to be a caregiver for 20 years for seniors, so she's still doing it, but just family and was taking care of her parents.
Yeah. Okay, so 0929 035. Okay, and I got the card number here for 829307297. Okay, $1,250. Is what we're doing. Partial payment. We'll go ahead and hit that confirm, and then billing zip code 80537, correct? Why is this glitching like this? I don't understand this. When it comes to that point, okay. It's my system, it's not you. I'm gonna try this. It wouldn't let me put the zip code when I came to that zip code area. And it's asking for it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you access to the course and have my my tech guy look at this because I got to jump onto this other course. But for some reason, it's an input glitch. It has nothing to do with your card. But I'll process it once I'm done with this call. But let me get you in.
If there's a problem, I can always do a Zelle.
No, it's an input thing on my
Okay.
end. It's just when I get to that zip code section, it's like not letting me type it in, and it's skipping. It's a computer thing more so. But let me make sure. Check your email. You should have an email telling you that we're thrilled that you've enrolled in Commission Cheat Code. And this is sent to your email here, loveland330@gmail.com. You got it? Perfect. And then next, I'm just going to send you a text message and also a message here with the link to schedule a one-on-one at any time. You want to save this link. You're gonna get it as a reminder on the course as well, but this is the link. And if you log into the course, you should be able to kind of just dive right into module 1, product knowledge, and then we can go from there. So it should probably take you, if you want to knock that out in the next day or two, you should be able to get done with module 1, and then we can probably have a meeting Monday or Tuesday, and then we can go from there. Okay. All right, let me jump onto this meeting. I really appreciate the conversation, man. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I'll send you the receipt once this payment is ran. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.